Okay, we're live on Facebook Live, episode 26 of our candidate Q&A. We're here generally every Friday when we're in the office, of course. And Mark's with me today, and we've got 5 questions to answer from our candidate network.
Good stuff.
And if you are a candidate, if you're a contractor, and by the way, thanks for people who have joined out for us this week over on Facebook. I'm really grateful for it. I can see we had some new people joining us here in London, in Belgium, in Sweden, in Germany, and in the Netherlands. So thank you all. Mm-hmm. And we'll take any question basically, either live if we can see it on the feed, or you can send us a Facebook message and we'll take your questions. We tend to talk about anything really, so can't probably solve any personal problems, but we'll do our best, won't we?
We'll try. Yeah,
we'll try our best. But first, pertaining to a recruitment issue or challenge, we've got our first question from Phil. Phil, thanks for this one. Phil is based in London. He is new to contracting, generally. Quite new to contracting the last 3 months. He's an IT project manager and wanted to know, will there be a slowdown over the next couple of months? And when's best to plan for his holidays?
Right. Well, I mean, in my personal experience of which is nearly 20 years of recruitment, there is no real pattern that I've experienced. Your personal experience, but it just depends. I mean, some years, there'll be and some companies, in fact, will have a furlough where you're required to be off site for maybe 1 or 2 weeks during the summer holidays or general. Seasonal holiday periods, but in my experience, no, it just depends. I wouldn't sort of relax or take your foot off the pedal or foot off the gas. Just presume it's going to be as busy as it always is, and just speak to your line manager if you're talking about booking a holiday. Yeah, just have an honest and frank conversation. When is the best time for me to take this break?
Yeah, and as Mark said, it will vary from company to company,
yeah.
and you could work through. I'm sure I know contractors that have worked through for years and we're not even having a holiday. So take the break when it's good for you and your family. It will differ from country to country. Obviously, we're talking UK, but Phil, if you're going off to gallivant around Europe and, Sweden, for example, could be off for the most of July. Germany, obviously, and different countries have different rules. So do check that out. But, I wouldn't worry too much and, work, as Mark said, give your line manager plenty of notice and perhaps have a chat with your agency.
And if the company has a furlough, work around that. Obviously, you don't want to be forced to have a holiday when you could have factored it into your own break. So.
Very true. And being just to explain that the word furlough there in this sense, Phil, rather than the horse racing sense, it is taking that perhaps an enforced break. So some organisations may have some form of enforced break over the Easter or December period where they need to reduce their expenditure, and it's probably the most sensible time for those external contractors, contingent workforce to drop off. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could go into summer as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, no problem. Okay, thank you for that, Phil. Hope that's useful. Hayley's a contractor working in Cologne, in Germany. Hayley's a business analyst. She wanted to know what the opportunities were like to work in the Netherlands, and if it was worth learning Dutch or if English was fine. Mm-hmm. She's found it difficult with her current company as her German is not that good, and she's found many stakeholders have been conducting conversations in meetings in German. What's your view?
So in Germany at the moment, but asking about going to the Netherlands with regards
to
language skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the organisation. So some companies are Dutch companies. The fundamentally they're founded in the Netherlands. They are a Dutch business, but many will operate in English as their business language. So obviously you don't want to put yourself in an environment where it's going to be purely Dutch and you don't speak Dutch. That's going to be a problem for you.
Yeah.
But I presume you probably wouldn't get that role anyway if you're not Dutch speaking and it's required as part of the duties of the role. So just make an honest and open and educated application for the roles that are clearly going to work for you as a non-Dutch speaker.
Absolutely. And it might be, Hayley, those local government, positions, as an example, probably will need a Dutch speaker. And there may be certain roles, but as Mark said, those international organisations, very, very flexible in the Netherlands. It's interesting you say about the meetings being conducted in German. Again, I don't know which company you're at the moment, but generally, if the international language is business, of course that is. Maybe that's just some nuances, and sometimes it can be difficult where people need to be speaking in their native tongue. But of course, don't worry worried about the Netherlands. You'll do just fine.
Well, and also be vocal. I mean, you don't sit there and just let the whole meeting pass you by in a language you don't understand. Maybe just, make the point that actually, can we just rewind a little bit? I don't speak the local language. Can we do this in English?
Exactly.
That's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good luck, and get in touch with Mark if you want something in the Netherlands. He might be able to help you when the time is right. Matthew is a program director. He's in France, in Paris. Thank you, Matthew. He just wanted to know what he should consider contracting. Should he consider contracting out in Africa, and what should he look out for?
Wow. Don't have an awful lot of experience around Africa, to be honest. Maybe you can help with that one.
Well, Matthew, we did do more placements last year in Africa, but less at the moment because we're quite busy in Europe. But I mean, it just in terms of the usual things, even for the same in Europe, I don't know where you're considering going, but of course, if it's a more remote area or perhaps a more, dangerous, but make sure you've thought about your security, your accommodation, your travel. But again, most depending on the places. Obviously, I think as a French speaker, I suspect you might be using that and going to one of the French-speaking countries. The other thing to really consider is the compliance element. So just we've got some contacts. We can put you in touch with our compliant payroll partners that work in Africa, and just to ensure that you're compliant for tax and you're not going to get any nasty surprises either from the country you go into or perhaps from the French tax authorities on your return. But if you're going to especially an international company, there's huge opportunity out there at the moment. Huge opportunity. They need great skills. They need good people who can probably run programs. You'll probably get paid in US dollars and you'll have an absolutely fantastic time. I'm sure you will.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll find some groups on LinkedIn or some of the other media sites or social media sites out there where you can ask open and frank questions around what the culture's like, what to look out for, what to avoid. Get yourself out there and look for those platforms.
And if you need any connection, Matthew, get in touch with us. I've got loads of people both on LinkedIn and on our CRM and our database that we've known for over the years who have all worked out in Africa and have a fantastic time. So go and enjoy yourself. Shrish is a systems tester. Shrish asked us if we had any experience working up in Norway as a contractor and what it's like to work in Oslo.
We have placed contractors in Norway. I personally haven't worked there, so I can't really talk too much about the personal experiences for being in Oslo specifically.
Cold in winter.
Yeah. Well, cold a lot of time, I should imagine. Yeah. But I think you probably have a bit more.
Again, we've got people up there, as Mark said, and again, similar to that, it's making sure you've got the compliance in place because Norway is expensive. There is some, social security. That you need to obviously provide. Again, we've got partners and contacts that can help you with that to ensure you're compliant. And again, depending who you're working with, again, you might want to think about making sure that you've priced up the accommodation, whether it's included or not, and you've thought about the route. It can be a bit more of a pain if you're coming in and out of London the whole time because it's sort of 2.5 hours up and then an hour on top. So if you're doing it as a weekly commute, you might want to stay out there for a few weeks or months at a time.
I think it just applies to any country that you're going to work away from home in. Just do your research and look at the expenditure. What's it going to cost me to be out there?
Yeah.
How easy is it to get back home when I need to? If there's an emergency, how quickly can I get back? Just weigh up all these things and speak to some people that may be doing that same thing. Expats that are out there.
If you're a drinker, it's going to cost you a lot of money living there. If you're not a drinker, you're gonna.
Well, even coffee.
So take your own coffee. I know people who take bags of it. But I would say again, Oslo is a beautiful city, fantastic. Lots going on there. Lots of great technology, and it'll be a fabulous place for you to go and run a contract from. Particularly now, of course, with the summer months, it'll be light over, until midnight or over through the night almost. Go and have an amazing time there. I was there myself just 3 months ago, even in the snow, and it's still beautiful, which is much better than a rainy, cold London. I'd rather have the snow at least. So I hope it goes well. If you want us connect you with anyone, we can connect you with people already there.
Just do your homework basically. Yeah.
So I just wanted, that was all the questions for this week, and I just had we had a little bit of a thread going on LinkedIn this week, only a small thing, and it was, we took one of our new guys down to meet some of our contractors this week at one of our customers, and I asked each of the contractors, I asked them to share what was important to them in a relationship between a recruitment consultant and an agent.
Mm-hmm.
And there was 3 things that they came up with, but I wonder what you think that they might have said to us.
Well, number one for me would be communication.
Yep.
Are we talking regularly and about the right things?
Yep.
For me, that would definitely be number one. Are we open and honest and frank with each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's number 2. Let's be clear and transparent about what we're providing and how we're going to build this relationship long term. Yeah, I think that's the 2 key things. Yeah.
And I think the other
Feedback.
one... Feedback. Yeah, well, we had a bit... They came up with sort of integrity and feedback and just getting back to people and letting them know, even if it's a negative outcome or if it's not going well. So, but again, goes a bit back to that communication, about actually doing what you say you're going to do. So, I'm really grateful for the people we met last week, or this week, I should say. They know who they are, and we'll be catching up with a few more of our contractors next week on our rounds, getting out the office. I think it's great if you can get the time to meet the candidates that you've placed as a recruiter. It just builds that relationship, and hopefully leads to a long-term relationship for both parties.
Mm-hmm.
It's the weekend now. As you said, most of Europe has got some time off on Monday. We've got a bank holiday the week after next. Any plans for the weekend this weekend?
This weekend? What am I doing this weekend? No, not massively actually.
No?
No, just a haircut.
I told you you're not
and my new cat.
The royal wedding. You're not going to put the. You got one of the Queen's face pictures.
Well, we live in a quite a villagey type place, so there might well be a few local things going on, I guess. But a few bunting type.
Glass of
scenarios.
Pimm's or something.
Maybe a glass of Pimm's, yeah.
Get the Pimm's out
And some cheese sandwiches, maybe.
Fantastic. Right. Have a great weekend. We'll see you all soon. Take care.
Brilliant. Cheers. Thanks. Bye bye.